customers say we love the alcohol, la 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 la. Just line 'em up and we will drink them all, la 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 la. Well, my mother always said, if you want to drink all day, you best start in the morning, son, 'cause that's the Irish way. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, and every other mother will agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, so order up around for you and me. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, and every motherfucker must agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, so order up around for you and me, and you and me, and you and me. Let there be whiskey!
Hey everybody! Welcome to Nerds with Alcohol. I'm Chris.
I'm Russ.
And this is episode 236.
236, back in the virtual nerd basement, guys. Welcome back. Let's see. It is a rainy Tuesday night here in Michigan and here in the Detroit area. Sprinkly. Rainy-ish, sprinkly-ish. It's supposed to
Some people got
through.
some storms, I guess, but I didn't
get
it.
Like I said, it's raining a little harder here. I mean, Chris and I are about 12, 15 miles apart.
About 12.
About 12 miles apart. So, but it's gonna pass through. It's just a quick storm. Hey, CD. So it's I'm just like, holy shit. I'm still processing Loki, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be dealing with the season finale of Loki tonight. So just
the way to put it is dealing with it.
That's so bear that in mind. We're going to get that away right here at the beginning. There will be spoilers for the finale of Loki, and we'll probably talk a little bit about the show in general overall. So if that's what you like, if that's what you want to hear, then please stick around. Otherwise, we'll give you some ample warning before we get started talking about it, so you can, fast forward through this, or if you're watching or listening later. I'm still like mind blown about it. But how was your week?
Shitty. I have to go back in the office now.
That's right. You're back.
Day after our last show.
Back in the office. That's right.
I fucking hate the commute. Absolutely despise it. After having almost a year and a half of not having to do it. Yeah. I absolutely despise having to drive in there.
I'll bet. It's just being on my ass here for 8 to 10 months or whatever it was during the quarantine. It was really hard to go back to work for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so I'm back in the office, which also means I don't have as much time to get ready after the show because I've got an almost hour commute. So
wow, actually, you know what I'm saying? As I think about it, I came home from Florida in 20. I was already getting the unemployment, the pandemic benefits. I did get brought back to work in early August, September, October, or late August, mid-August. So it was mid-August. We did make floats. We built 3 floats at the parade, and then the parade got canceled a week before Thanksgiving. And then I was off again. I went back to my unemployment and stuff, and I was off again until mid-March. So I actually wasn't completely sedentary for that entire time. I did have about 3.5 months of work there. So, but yeah, I mean, it's got to be hard to be, being able to just work from home, having that nice the nice ability to do that, and then have that snatched away from you.
Yep. So that sucks. Me and some friends went and did trivia last night, first time in a year and a half.
That's cool. That's cool.
We sucked. We did not do well. I mean, we did okay, but we lost. We didn't get anything on the last 2 questions. We're not crazy about the way they're doing it now. It used to be you would write down on a slip of paper your answer and take it up and turn it in. Now you put every answer in on your phone, but don't use your phones to look up any answers like people aren't doing.
Okay. exactly, CD. You eat at home, use your own bathroom. It's
Yep.
kind of, I mean, and that's the thing. We've
Take care of the
learned
dogs.
take care of the dogs. I mean, yeah, I know you got to be like. You got to be like most of the time, a lot of people, when they're working from home, they got to be on, they got to be necessary doing, but that doesn't mean the fact that you're still around. You can have your radio going, your
Yep.
own stereo going. You could have a TV going and off to the side or whatever. Maybe what you're listening to or whatever. I mean, if you got to get, if somebody, if an Amazon delivery comes, you're there for it. I mean, whatever else. If there's anything that quarantine taught us is that there are a lot of jobs. I think there's something like 20-25% of the workforce can do work at home.
Yep.
Can work from home. They don't need to be in an office setting. And I think that's definitely something that we need to continue to develop and deal with, because it just seems to me that we should be able to keep moving forward with that. I don't know.
It really kills me too when they in one breath say, "Hey, we had our best year ever, most productive, everything was great." Oh, but the work from home thing doesn't work for us. That's not who we are.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit. If people can work from home and they can prove to be productive, they should be able to.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was most of it. We had our game on Friday.
Yes, we did.
Which was fun. I went golfing on Saturday, which was actually a lot of fun.
Cool.
I got to golf out at Oakland University for the first time ever. University course, which it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine from the curling club's a member out there, and he invited a bunch of us to go out. Actually shot one of the best rounds I've ever had out there. So it was a good day.
All right. Well, good for you. I can't stand golf, so there's only it's like I haven't played golf in God. Well, just enough years. I'm good for it. I'm good. Last time I did, I think it was I was at my future brother-in-law's bachelor party in Chicago. We went, and I'm just like, I was there. I got really frustrated. I finally just set it down. Like I got through like, I don't know. We were only shot 9 holes. I think I got through 5 holes, and I pretty much went, yeah, fuck this, and I'm like, I'm done. And the rest, I was just like, I'll drive the cart and drink a beer or whatever. And because I was just like, no, and hell, they almost didn't let me on the fucking golf course because I was wearing tennis shoes. I'm like, seriously, I'm wearing sneakers. You're not gonna let me on the goddamn golf course. I think I was wearing jeans too, where they're like, yeah, we don't do that. I'm like, you guys, this is why people don't like your sport, because it's an elitist bullshit game. So, but I get why some people like it. It's a nice walk wasted. So, as they say. I just
How was your week?
I worked. We're working on. We're rounding the bases on the first chassis of the first float. So we're gonna have to start picking up the pace. We've got the second chassis we're moving along on. We got more stuff. I mean, we're keeping up that, like, the stuff is flowing from sculpture to paint, and I've got the painters and I are the rest of the painters and I are really moving along on it. So it's good. One of the old school sculptors came in today to talk to him and like see if he could get a couple of old pieces that he could use for a project, and he needs a couple of spheres basically. And so we were chatting for a bit, and he was like, yeah, I'm probably going to come back at the end of the month, and this is probably going to be because he had been more of a part-time sculptor. We'd come in, he had a day job, and he would come in the evenings and help out with things, and maybe when we went to weekends and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing more freelance stuff right now. I'm not going to be able to. So he's pretty much going to be coming back like more as a full-time thing. And it's cool because sometimes I get a little frustrated being like one of the oldest guys on the fucking floor. So, and Jeff's the same age as I am, so I'm like, oh, okay, great.
That's the same way for me at work. I'm one of the oldest guys on my team, if not the oldest guy on my team.
Oh yeah, but you're a computer nerd.
Yeah,
and that's a young man's game, man. So so it was nice to see him and talk to him for a few. And like I'm pretty proud and pretty happy with what we put out so far this year. We're doing some really cool stuff. One of the designs I came up with for one of the paint schemes for something, I was like, okay, we're gonna paint the water this way, and they're like, okay, that sounds great. And then we did it, and it's like really great. It's part of this. It's the first chassis of the Delta Dental float, and it's supposed to be made out like it's a pier on the Detroit River. So we had to paint like water basically. And instead of airbrushing it, I was like, okay, we're just gonna hand paint it. We're gonna brush paint it, but it's gonna be very graphic, and it's looking great. It's looking pretty good. I would prefer if it. Okay, well, I'm gonna go into that, but it's the a couple of artists that have been working on it have been doing a great job. So yeah, so it's just it's hot. We've had some hot days. We did have to close the studio at noon on Friday because we got that wrath of the Almighty came through.
Mm-hmm.
Like guys, for those of you guys aren't in Detroit, man, holy shit. The storms that came through on Friday were crazy pants, and it rained all day. It rained hard all day. And I don't think there wasn't near as bad flooding. I had a couple of friends that did experience a little bit of flooding, but they were ready for it because we'd had the flooding from like a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago. So, but it was just like, yeah, there was so much water coming into the studio from the roof leaking and from things like drains coming up and stuff. We had to actually close the studio because it's just too much water. Can't work. Daddy OSHA tells us we can't work in a puddle of water. So. I also did get my property tax bill. That's always nice. Yay. So I'm going to be paying that this week, or well, soon anyway. But the nice thing is I have the money, so I don't have to I don't have to wait. Like a lot of times I would wait until the end of the year and pay it and just pay. I'd pay like $50 or whatever in like interest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But now I can just pay it right now. I've got the cash, so that's great. Cool. And actually the property taxes in Hazel Park are not bad. I shouldn't complain.
Yeah, and it's not like you have a house payment.
That's right. That's why I don't plan on moving anytime soon. So anyway, yeah, we had a game on Friday and it was great. We were missing. It was actually a really small group. It was just Pete, Renee, myself, and you, and we had a great time. It was fun. It was of course obviously role play heavy, and it was really funny that Rich came in right as we were closing the game off. He showed up at the end and we got to chat with him for a few, and he's like, "Am I too late?" And it was just like, it was right as you had said, "Okay, we're going to close it for the night." And
yeah, it was like 11:35, I think.
Yeah, and because it was a good stopping point, and like literally 10, maybe 12 seconds after you said that, Rich's face appeared on screen. That was really funny. So yeah, we are. I don't know if we made an official announcement about Ian and
I don't think we've made it. I don't know if we've made an official one. I think Pete and I talked about it, I think, on Tavern Talk. But
yeah,
we've talked about it out here. But yeah,
we're losing two of our
players. Yeah, they had to leave. They're having to leave the game for their own reasons. But yeah, so that's unfortunate. But
yeah, and it's difficult to commit. It's one of the hardest things about playing D&D is getting people that are willing to commit to being consistent in a game and showing up. And the fact that we do Twitch stream it means doubling. It puts extra pressure on people to be there. And we also stream on a Friday night. And these are two younger people that probably have more lives, have lives. And it's a little bit tougher. So I get that. It'd be a shame to lose them and stuff.
There are some coming up that I know that people are going to miss, and because I know there's one that Klimbrum's going to miss, that she's going to be out of town for work, and there's one that we're gonna have to just flat out move because I can't make it for I forget what. Oh, it's a concert, the Flogging Molly concert.
Ah,
Flogging Molly and Violent Femmes.
nice. That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Stella and I were talking. We've actually never been to a concert together.
Wow.
Yeah.
This will be just for Flogging Molly. I think this will be the 6th or 7th time that Renee and I have seen them together.
I've never seen Flogging Molly in concert.
Which, by the way, one of the things Facebook decided to remind me of today, I was going through the memories on Facebook, and it was 9 years ago today that I went to see Dark Knight Rises at the AMC 30 in Sterling Heights. Changed my life forever.
Dark Knight Rises changed your life forever.
Well, going to see it there did, because that's where I re-met Renee.
That's where you met Renee, right?
I re-met her there because we had met at the SteamCon, and that was the next time that we saw each other. It was we met in May and then didn't see each other until July, and then that's when she kept the receipt.
She kept the receipt, so
she had my name.
Yeah, nothing like using one's job to score a date. Yeah, I remember.
Hey, we didn't actually start dating for another 6 months after that.
Right. She just wanted to keep checking you out there, big boy.
Yeah, she had a boyfriend at the time.
Yeah, he didn't mean much. Well, I actually today, actually a couple of days ago,
bats.
a couple of days ago, we had a couple of days ago, I was reminded it was the anniversary of you and I going to see Bon Jovi at Ford Field.
My first time ever at Ford Field.
Yeah,
and
that was my first time.
That was one that was funny because originally I was going to take Renee, but she was up north for her. She had to go up north for her family thing.
Yeah,
Bon Jovi's her favorite band.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, they are her favorite band, and she's like,
man, that's funny.
Yeah, she wasn't happy that she had to go up north because that was before we were officially dating.
Wild. Hey Lou, how's it going? Nice to see you. I see Lou's watching our show.
See, he hasn't said anything in
no, he hasn't said anything, but I see one of my online friends is watching Drinking Nerds. So anyway, yeah. Hey Lou, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, we went and saw Bon Jovi. It was really funny because
the Jay Giles band too.
And the Jay Giles band. And it was a hell of a show. We had a great time. But the funny thing was that was my first concert ever was seeing Bon Jovi and Skid Row in 1986 at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. So when we went and saw that, it was kind of like, wow, it was full circle. And I gotta tell you, man, I remember Bon Jovi really put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, he did. And I remember you and I talking about rolling him afterwards to get that one jacket. He had like that Captain America jean jacket.
Yep.
And we're like, I want that. That might fit you, Russ. It ain't gonna fit me because he's a little guy.
He's a little guy. Hey, Premise Land too, watching the show. I just came up to one of my friends, say thanks, man, for coming in and taking a look. Yeah, there was a lot of hair, dude.
Yeah,
CD, there was a lot of hair. There was a lot of hair. Back in the old days, there was a lot of hair.
I saw Bon Jovi twice on the Slippery When Wet tour with Cinderella.
Oh wow, yeah, we were on the Bon Jovi. It was the Slippery When Wet tour.
Hey, Clue.
Like I said, yeah. Lou, what's up, homie?
But yeah, that was a good show because then Ted Nugent came out at the end too and played with all of them, and they actually brought all of Cinderella out. Nugent was on stage, but all of Bon Jovi was on stage. The stage was packed, and they did Traveling Band together.
Oh, that's cool.
Was really cool.
It's just too bad that Ted Nugent has turned into a garbage human being.
Yeah,
the guy is a serious, like, raging scumbag.
Yeah, I like Skid Row too. Although Sebastian Bach, the lead singer, was a dude.
He was a bit at the time. He got really, and he wrote a book, I guess, actually, and kind of talked about that. It talked about him being because he was only like 20 when he was in Skid Row, and
Yeah.
I mean he was really
He
young.
spent some time here in Detroit too.
He's actually from Royal Oak.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to Royal Oak High or something like that at one of the schools.
Yeah, it was a friend of
his
mine's ex-wife's
youth-
sister dated him for a while.
Oh, right on. His youth must have gone wild. Whack, whack. Thanks, CD. Yeah, I mean, and he talks about, it was really cool how he talked about how his first concert was a Judas Priest show at Joe Louis Arena, and he talked about how when people talk about like how far have you come in your life, and he says about 200 feet, because he saw that concert. He was on the floor at Joe Louis Arena, and he was all the way at the back, and now he was on the stage, and it was like, it was pretty cool. So it was a cool show. But I mean, I gotta say, it was, I don't think I've been to a big concert since then, and but it was a hell.
I was going to concerts every other month in high school, at least one every other month.
I just never was a big concert guy. I've been to a number of them. I've seen Kiss in concert twice. I saw him in high school, and then
I've seen Kiss 3 or 4 times. Once with makeup.
Yeah, I've seen him with makeup and without. I saw Kiss, Winger, and Slaughter. I kid you not. Winger and Slaughter opened for Kiss. And
okay. Yeah, I actually saw Winger. I saw Winger open up for Kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And it was might have been Slaughter too, because I've seen Slaughter.
Yeah. It was the Hot in the Shade tour.
Okay, so yeah, we were at the same concert. We just didn't know each other then.
Well, mine was in Phoenix.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
So it's the same tour.
Yeah. I saw him twice on that tour as well. And then I saw him on the Makeup Returns, or the when they put the makeup back on at Tiger Stadium.
You saw that show?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's great. That was expensive. I got to meet Gene Simmons the night after that show. It was actually, I've told this story before. It was actually
at the club.
At the strip club. We met him in the men's room. No bullshit. He's actually taller than you'd think. He's actually a fairly tall guy, even without the boots. And he's cheap. he tipped my buddy who was working in the men's room a buck, but come on, Gene, throw a $5 in there, But he was a nice guy.
He's 6'2".
Yeah, but he was a nice dude.
His kid's 6'8".
Oh yeah, I know. His kid is super and very talented artist, and his daughter is a very talented musician. There's a lot of talent in that family. I saw Motley Crue at the dead last show of the Dr. Feelgood tour in Phoenix.
Yeah, I've seen Motley Crue. I saw them on Girls, 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 and Dr. Feelgood.
Oh, right on.
On the Dr. Feelgood show, my buddy Steve, Irish Steve, was trying to climb up on my shoulders because we were right where, that was the one where Tommy Lee went out over the crowd on his drums. And he went right over top of us, and that's right where his drum kit actually stopped, was like right by us.
Did it spin? It was the spinning one?
Yeah. And he was just standing up afterwards, and my buddy's trying to climb up on my shoulders to like reach up for him, and he just looked down at us and like did one of his little things, and he's like, "You motherfuckers are crazy."
That's fucking awesome. Lou saw the Tiger Stadium show too, man. That's really fucking cool. CD was asking if you got to see his thong. His thing.
I don't remember. It was hard. The bottom wasn't. It was a little opaque, but it was. I mean, it wasn't completely clear. But he wasn't wearing much. I know that.
Honestly, really cool, really cute docu-pic, biopic is The Dirt.
Yeah, it's on my list. I haven't watched it yet.
It's really cool about the early career of Motley Crue, and it's a really cool movie. It was pretty great. Machine Gun Kelly played Tommy Lee, and he did a great job.
So you had said what your first concert was. My first concert was Ozzy Osbourne on the Ultimate Sin tour with Metallica opening.
God damn it.
On the Master of Puppets tour.
Oh, fuck, man.
That was my first concert.
That was your first concert?
First concert.
That's throwing you in the deep end, man. That's crazy.
And what's funny is I had an uncle that was super, super religious, and he was actually outside protesting. And my buddy's dad dropped us off at Joe Louis, and I see my uncle protesting outside. I went, "Hey, see you later. I'm going inside."
That's awesome.
I used to have debates with him at family gatherings.
I bet. I would too. I bet the best concert though. I've seen a couple more. I mean, I saw Evanescence at Harpo's. That was pretty cool. I saw Cold Chamber. I saw White
No, I
Zombie.
didn't give him the devil sign. I don't think. I may have given him the horns, but I'm not sure.
I saw what else? I saw White Zombie. I saw the Ramones open for White Zombie at this Palace of Auburn Hills. I've seen. Like I said, I saw Evanescence with Revis and who else was there? I can't remember. Evanescence, that was a hell of a show. It's a good show. I saw Typo Negative. I've seen Typo Negative like 3 times with various different bands. I saw Danzig, Typo Negative, and Cold Chamber. That was a great show. I was at Ozfest 2000. That was amazing. I've talked about that show because I got to go backstage because using our strip club DJ connections, we got to be like backstage and hang out with the bands and shit. That was wild. I got to have lunch with Disturbed and
that's a band I want to see. I've never seen Disturbed.
They were amazing, and it was right after they kind of blew up. It was right after the Sickness blew up, and they were really awesome. And Dave Draymond was really cool.
I think their newer stuff is way better than like the stuff from the Sickness.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they've matured and developed as a band. They've been really great. I got to meet Ozzy.
And honestly, Drainer's version of Sound of Silence is still to this day one of my favorite songs of all.
It's an amazing cover, and it's a really great.
I think it is the best cover I've ever heard.
Yeah, but I got to see, but yeah, and then meeting Ozzy, that was mind blowing. You know, just like, hey, well, might get scories, man. What's up, heavy rock and roll? And we're just like, all right, Oz, you know, whatever. I couldn't understand a word he fucking said, and it was also because Marilyn Manson. That was the Marilyn Manson Black Sabbath reunion tour. And Manson got in trouble. That was the concert that Manson got in trouble for sexually assaulting a security guard by putting his nutsack on her head. Yeah, so he had to come back, and it's not a laughing matter. I shouldn't laugh at that. But he had to come back to Michigan after the concert and after the tour was over, and you know, and he was charged with I can't remember exactly what it was. He was charged with some kind of sex crime or something really, and got a big fine and whatever. But yeah, foreshadowing, no doubt. Fucking A. Yeah. Now we know Marilyn Manson is a garbage individual. So pretty good too. So we went on a serious tangent here.
Yeah, you name an 80s hair band, I will probably have seen them.
Oh, that's wild. I think one of the reasons why I haven't been to too many more concerts after Ozfest in 2000 was
Poison CD. I saw Poison on the Rat Poison tour. Poison and Rat. I was 3 rows from the stage and 3 rows from the speakers.
Right on. Blowing out your eardrums. But like I said,
Poison another time too. I forget who opened up for him. Warrant is one that I never saw.
I saw Warrant. I've seen Warrant. I saw Warrant with I think Motley Crue. Yeah, it was Warrant. It was a huge show. It was Faster Pussycat, Warrant, Lita Ford, and they all were the opening bands for Motley Crue, and because it was the last show. It was the last show of the Feel Good tour, so they brought in their friends and shit.
Alice Cooper twice on the same tour.
Oh, that's cool.
That was the Welcome to My Nightmare, the return one, where he made his comeback.
With Poison and
he actually had
with the song Poison.
Yes, no, Poison was the album after that.
Oh, okay.
No, this was the one with the song from Jason Lives, Nightmares or Friday the 13th Part 6.
He's back.
Yeah,
he's a man behind the mask.
Yeah, he did. He played. We saw him on Devil's Night.
Nice.
The first time, and Friday the 13th the second time.
That's awesome. I did. Not to derail. Well, one thing I was going to say is I don't think I've been to too many concerts since 2000 because it was such an epic night. It was such an epic concert. And I'm just like, there's no way you can top that. But I have been to a few since then. But I did this last Saturday. I did my first major body paint in 18 months. So
Cool.
that was great. Yeah, it turned out really great. The model Marissa, we thought we were going to have to cancel because we were having a tough time confirming her, but she finally, like Friday evening, was like, "Hey, let's do this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And CD, we're all old here. We're all old. We did a great body paint. We're doing this like dark fairy kind of thing, and I think that's going to be our next series. Russ and I, is we're going to do a bunch of like fae creatures and maybe elemental fays and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. But hey, what are you drinking, man?
I am drinking a beer from Bell's. Surprise, surprise. This is the Lemon Lime Flamingo Fruit Fight. They do a different fruit fight every year now. Third year, I think. It is a Goza style ale brewed with lemon, lime, sea salt, and coriander. Our flamingos have some unfinished business in this matchup. They're lobbing lemons and limes, resulting in a kettle sour ale that's bright, tart, and refreshing. It's 4.8% ABV. It is a mostly clear yellow color. It definitely has the aroma of a sour. Get that, the lactose sour, so it's got that tartness, that pucker up sour, not the like Brett, which is more like a horse blanket type of.
More like a horse blanket.
Yeah, it's really different.
Okay.
But yeah, this has a lot of that flavor. I'm gonna take another sip here. And it's actually kind of mild. With as much as you get on the aroma, there's not a lot on. There's some sour, and it's a really, I'd call this one like a gateway sour for people who
sour.
Well, yeah, it's for people that don't necessarily like sours or are afraid to try a sour. This would be one I would suggest for them because it's not overly sour. Some of the sours I've had are like, bam, punch you in the face sour. This one just a little bit sour. It's kind of mild. It actually has the finish more like a regular like lager beer. Although this one's not lagered, but it's got that malty flavor at the end. It's not bad. It's not great. If you want to try it, I'd say yeah. Goza is one of my favorites, and this is actually really low on my list of Gozas I would suggest. If you want a good Goza, then Sierra Nevada has one, and then there's a couple others that I would have to rack my brain to remember what they are. But this one, I'm gonna say this is probably 2.75 for me. It's not great, not horrid, but it's drinkable. It's not like I'm gonna go pour this out or anything.
Okay.
It's not one. I don't know that I'll buy this one. It's probably my least favorite of all the fruit fights that I've had.
Okay.
So yeah. Fruit fight. Flamingo fruit fight. Lemon lime.
Alrighty. Well, I am just delving into the very last of my apple pie from Blake's. Again, a really nice. It's a nice sweet cider. It says apple, cinnamon, and vanilla, and I don't know if it's the apples. I don't know if it's the cinnamon. I'm not sure, but it tastes like there's caramel in it, but apparently there isn't. It's a really nice cider. It's 6.5 alcohol by volume, so it'll sneak up on you if you have too many of them. You can't really taste the alcohol in them though, so definitely easy to sneak up on. You know what I was just thinking about the other day, Chris? Remember those alcoholic sodas?
Yeah, like the Not Your Father's Root Beer.
Not Your Father's
Not Your Father's Mountain Drink.
Yeah, or whatever, Mountain Ale or something.
Yeah.
I have not seen any of those on the shelf lately.
I just saw a truck with the Not Your Father's Root Beer on the side of it.
And that was honestly, the alcoholic root beer was actually pretty solid.
For me, it was too sweet. I couldn't do it.
I liked them. I thought they were pretty decent.
The most dangerous one for me was the Not Your Father's Mountain Ale, because it tasted just like Mountain Dew.
It did taste just like Mountain Dew. It was crazy. I liked it, and but for whatever reason I have not seen it at all on
I haven't
seen
really
it
either, but I haven't looked either.
Yeah. So I just was thinking about that the other day. I go like, huh, okay. So
one of the things I watched this morning was a billionaire launch himself into space in a giant penis.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I was listening to Drew and Mike comment on it when it happened this morning on the radio when I was on my way into work.
It looked like a giant penis.
It did. It did. I saw somebody else posted the image from the Austin Powers movie where the Dr. Evil's rocket looked like a giant cock.
Yeah. Here, I'll send you this because this is what I'll text it to you. So, but yeah, it's very much because Renee sent this to me earlier. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, so he went up along with his brother and an 18-year-old kid from Europe. And then like some woman who also wanted to go up, and she's like, so they had what is now the youngest person in space and the oldest person in space on this.
Yeah, I heard something about that. Yeah. But it's just kind of ridiculous. A whole bunch of fucking rich assholes that are like trying to create this new space race or something. It's really fucking frustrating in my mind, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, when you've got, and even I guess there was an interview with Bezos that he actually admitted that it's stupid that they're all doing this.
Yeah.
He flat out admitted that it's actually stupid.
I agree. It's fucking stupid. You know, I mean, really, it's just like I'm in support of continuing the space race or space technology, you know, going into space. I love that. I think we need to, because there's a lot of technology that is developed through space technology, different kinds of ceramic composites and, circuits and computer systems. And I mean, so many things that we do, so much technology has grown from space technology, from the space race, and we need to continue it. We need to figure out how to get off this planet, how to get to other places,
I think we need to. I agree with you that I'm a big space nerd, and I think I love the idea of going out there, but we also need to figure out how to save this
planet. Right. At the same time, that those same technologies need to be used to save this planet and fix things, because if we don't, I mean, we're fucked. We're just fucked.
I mean, look at what's going on right now out west. I mean, they're still having record heat in Oregon. There's a giant fucking fire there and in Canada that is so bad that it's causing the sky here in Michigan to be hazy.
Right. California has been in a drought for well over 10 years. They've been in drought conditions for well over 10 years. That's why the Colorado River is drained so low, because so much water is being fed from the Colorado River to California and Arizona. It's messed up, man. The world is messed up. And I mean, I think I saw some sort of thing online too, saying it showed a huge smoke cloud coming all over these trees, and it said the Amazon forest is now producing more CO2 than it counteracts. The balance is shifted because they slash and burn so much of the Amazon forest for farmland and for grazing land, and it's we got to fucking fix this place, because we're not going to have the technology to get off it in time before we destroy it, before we kill everybody, or we kill 75% of the world, and then the world's going to spend 300 years recovering. it's ridiculous. So as much as I am for the continuation of the space race, I don't think it should be done by three rich idiots that are trying to, between Elon Musk and Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this for Bezos. At least he's upfront about what this is. It is a giant dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
He put his right on the launch pad.
Oh yeah. Yep, sure did. The guy makes like over like $2,500 a second. Like it's crazy the amount of money. I mean, Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world, and it's evident. Like he lost half of his fucking fortune to his ex-wife, and it doesn't make a difference. He's just going to make all that money back right away, like almost immediately. So yeah, it's sad. It's fucking ridiculous. So we need to just have the government building rockets and whatnot, or at the very least, if the private individuals are doing it, then they need to be serious about it and not and they need to be philanthropic, because if they're just going to turn it into a dick measuring contest, I'm going to get to Mars first. Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Yeah, well, and I saw a thing a while back, and they said if the government, and this is one of the reasons why it's actually not horrible that there are private companies making rockets and things like that. They said that for like an exploration to Mars, like to set up a colony on Mars or get there and do all that. If the government were to do it, it would cost something like $10 trillion or $100 trillion.
Sure, because the government's corrupt and horrible.
If an individual corporation were to do it, it would only cost like $100 billion or less. And if a group of corporations got together to do it, they could probably knock it down to about $10 billion. That's how much extra how much extra overhead there is in the government, and how they overpay for everything.
It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous, man.
No, I haven't heard Elon talking about actually going up in one of his things yet. He just sent someone's body up, and I still want to know who it was he had knocked off and sent into space.
Wait, they sent a corpse up there?
They sent the empty spacesuit in that car.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That wasn't an empty spacesuit.
Yes. Somebody that pissed him off went up there, man. I don't know.
I still think that he's from the future. Elon Musk is actually from the future.
You think he's a time traveler?
The time traveler, yeah.
I could buy it. It's just awkward enough, man.
Yeah, CD, we were joking around when that happened, and they sent that car out into space, and I'm like, just pulled off the perfect murder. No one's ever gonna find the body.
No one's gonna find it. Oh God!
Until the aliens bring it back. The aliens that find it, they're gonna bring it back and go, "Hey, we found this floating in space."
Yeah. Here you go. It's a great car. We're gonna,
Your astronaut didn't make it.
Yeah, but the car is great. The car is fine. All right, we should move on.
Speaking of Amazon,
okay,
there's actually a new game coming out, new MMO. I just went into closed beta today. If you pre-order, you get into it, called New World.
Yeah, New World. I've heard of this.
From Amazon Games.
Yeah.
The graphics look fucking amazing. And I guess it's a game where there's no classes. It's a classless game. You progress how you want. I'm like, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I feel bad because that's the thing. Jeff Bezos has definitely created something that we frustratingly all feel like we need to still, a lot of us frustratingly feel like we need to have. Like I mean, the prices are incredible, and the convenience of Amazon is incredible. And honestly, the TV shows and whatnot are great. I mean, most of the stuff that they're doing. I mean, look at the fact that we are we're watching one of the shows that you and I particularly are anticipating the most is the Critical Role animated series.
Yep.
Like, they not only are distributing it, they were like, hey, guess what? We're going to fund 2 more episodes, take it to 12, and we're going to fund a second season. And you're like, well, shit. I have to have Amazon now. I mean...
Well, here's the thing. Where are we right now? We're broadcasting on an Amazon-owned product.
That's right. Twitch is owned by Amazon. With a Prime account with an Amazon Prime account, you get a free Twitch subscription that you can use at any time.
Yeah.
What do I use mine on? Critical Role.
That's what Renee uses hers on too.
Yeah.
We don't have subscriptions yet, so that's not even an issue for us.
No, we don't.
But but yeah, she uses it for Critical Role because she'll watch them like the night or the next day.
I have to admit, I have done that as well. In fact, it's time for me to resubscribe. I just noticed that.
Yeah, that's the one thing she says is really frustrating though, is you have to resubscribe every month.
Yep. It is kind of a drag, So wait a minute, maybe I don't have to yet. I think maybe, today, monthly recurring, no, I'll deal with it later.
But anyway, New World. I don't know a lot about it yet, other than that what I was reading about it earlier. I was trying to read some about it before we got on the show here, but I watched the trailer. Looks amazing. Graphics look phenomenal. It is an MMO, and it's single player or player versus player, or like player versus group players versus an environment, groups against groups. There are different factions from what I'm seeing on there. And I guess one of the things they're doing right now is they have a bunch of Twitch streamers that are going to be streaming it. And each one of them is leading one of the factions. Since it's going into closed beta now, it's expected to be out August 31st is the official release. But you can buy it now and get right into closed beta and play.
When is it? I'm sorry, when is it going to be released?
August 31st.
August 31st. Yeah.
But closed beta started today. So if you pre-order it today, you actually get the entire closed beta game.
What's it called again? New World? New
Yep.
World.
It's available on Steam and on Amazon.
Okay, I'll probably just buy it on Steam because
that's what I did.
Yeah. I think I actually even, if I remember correctly, I even did I put it on my wish list because I was like, it looks pretty cool.
It's $40 for the standard edition and $50 for the deluxe, which that's still cheaper than most games regular editions when they come out.
Yeah, that's not bad actually. Yeah, $40 for most games these days are right around
60.
$60, right? New World. I think also I've heard good things about this Solasta Crown of the Magister too. Okay. $40 for it's a fantasy game, similar to in the vein of like Baldur's Gate. Yeah, New World. I've got it saved here. It does look on my wish list. It does look pretty good.
Yeah. And from what I understand, there's no classes. And I guess the whole premise is that there's this mysterious island, you've been shipwrecked on it, and the magics of this island have corrupted things throughout the century. And nobody actually knows what's on this island because nobody goes there because it's where all the magic can.
Okay.
But they have swords and hammers and axes and all that stuff, plus they have muskets and cannons and things like that.
It looks a lot like Greedfall. It looks a lot like the kind of the same, a similar premise to the game Greedfall. So, but the graphics are a little more solid. But it looks like there's crafting.
Yes.
there's band, you can
Yeah,
band together.
you level up in trade skills, weapon skills. Like if you use a certain weapon, you go up in skill in that weapon,
Okay.
but you don't go up in other weapons. Like if you want to use a sword, then you use a sword. If you're using an axe, your sword isn't gonna go up, but your axe will.
Okay.
So
I like that. That's very Skyrim-y.
it's also it was the original WoW actually in WoW, or actually
Defend,
in EverQuest. EverQuest
defend,
used to do that.
defend, and develop your territory too. It looks like there's a like developing or building up like areas too.
Yeah, there may be.
Area. Yeah, I'm. It looks like a big faction war, maybe too.
Yeah, there's multiple factions,
and
particularly
fighting.
good versus evil. I think is.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this is wow. Just
Wow.
wow. Play the closed beta.
No, not WoW. New World.
Right. Pre-order now. I'm not gonna pre-order it, but it definitely.
I did downloaded it already. I just
Yeah.
haven't had a chance to play it because I wanted to watch Loki again.
It says this game plans to unlock in approximately 5 weeks. So yeah, I'll probably check this out. I think I definitely will check this out. I believe.
Like I said, if you pre-order it, you can download it right away, and then you get access to the beta, which of course isn't going to be the full game, but it's probably going to be a good chunk of it. If it's closed beta, it's a almost released game.
Man, I'm playing so much shit right now. I mean, I'm just chomping at the bit for when Baldur's Gate 3 finally releases, man, with full
sometime in about 5 years.
No, it says October. Well, it was originally it was released October 6th of 2020, but they've only released about 20% or 25% of the game. They keep making updates. They keep making minor updates, but they're not releasing. The updates haven't unlocked more content or more story content and stuff like that. It just they keep unlocking more character stuff and more character classes and stuff. So that now the druid class is playable and things like that. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to get into keep playing another playing it over and over and over again, keep playing a new character and whatnot. I'm going to wait until the full game is released and then
that one I'm waiting.
Yeah, because I'll just get frustrated. It's like, oh, again. Speaking of games, though, there was a big kind of leak. Apparently, some of the coders and whatnot have been able to figure out that some of the potential DLC coming up for Cyberpunk 2077. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to go through it right now, but they'd found something like 17 different DLC things that are going to be coming up. Most of them are going to be the free ones. I think these are all mostly all free DLCs. The paid DLCs are coming later. So these were smaller ones like weapons packs, maybe expanding the apartment that you live in, maybe a few additional mission things, but they're not going to be the big ones. The big DLCs are that we're going to have to pay for. Those are coming a bit later.
Yeah, they're going to be hard pressed to get any more of my money though.
That's the thing, though. They're saying that since it got put back on the PlayStation Store, like roughly a month ago, it was the highest selling game on the PlayStation Store and the highest downloaded game. Now, some people had said that it was probably because some of the people were re-downloading it after they purchased it and maybe deleted it off their system, waiting for it to improve. I was saying that it probably there were a lot of those were re-downloads, but I mean, that's saying something, man. I mean, people are interested in this game. They want to play. They want to like it. Cyberpunk. They want to like it because that's the thing. There's a lot of really great things in that game, and I think it's there. We just have to. We got to give it. I mean, and I know it's there. It's a good game. You just got to give it a chance. People got to give it a chance.
Yeah, I got stuck in a spot. I think I'm gonna have to go back quite a ways.
Yeah. What really bugs me about some of these games is like, especially on Steam, when it's an early access game. And you're like, all right, it's an early access. Okay. When is it going to be normal access? When is it going to be just access?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's this game here at Last Epoch, or Last Epoch. Time travel, exciting dungeon crawling, engrossing character customization. It came out in April 30th of 19, and it's still considered an early access game. I mean, really, guys? 2 years later, it's still early access. I'm not buying that. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, I'll buy a game when it's no longer early access. When you have finished it, finish the goddamn game. Same thing with the Guild 3. It's still considered early access. It came back out in 17.
Damn.
What?
The damn.
Yeah, I mean that's just fucking silly. Fucking silly. So like, yeah, game developers out there, holy shit, guys! If you want us to really invest in your game, man, like give us the final edition, give us the finished game, and then add more content later. That's fine.
Or what they need to do is go back to like what Sony used to do for like their online games. Like when Star Wars Galaxies came out, they had a closed beta that they only let a certain number of people in. You actually had to apply, and they were letting certain people in at a time to ramp up the servers and test those out too. But they also wanted people to test out all the content. And basically, we're told at the beginning, when this goes live, they're wiping everything from the beta server, or from the beta servers. These aren't going to get transferred over. So any progressions you make, you're going to have to start over. But what they want, but we also didn't have to pay for the game.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We were doing a job for them. And
exactly,
we were on the forums all the time, and a bunch of us were, and reporting issues that we were seeing. And they said, all right, well, what do you guys think? They actually asked everyone, so what do you guys think? Should we, are we good to go? And overwhelmingly, everyone said, no, this needs another month or so for you guys to work out all of these issues. And they were all listed out by various people.
Mm-hmm.
And they went, okay, thanks, we're releasing next week. They didn't listen.
All right.
And honestly, as much as I love Star Wars, I did not buy that game for the first 3 months that it was out. I did eventually buy it, but I'm like, no, it's not ready.
Yeah. I mean, the developers gotta listen to the fans, man. They gotta listen to the players and stuff. Otherwise, they're gonna end up screwing themselves in the long run.
But I also just found out too that Star Wars Galaxies, there's a version of it out there like City Heroes.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, where you can go out and actually play it.
It's great.
Like the original. But one of the guys I work with was talking about it. He's like, yeah, I've been working on trying to figure out how to be a Jedi for like 6 months now. I think I've almost got it.
That's right, because in that game, you being a Jedi was very difficult.
Yeah, you had to unlock like certain paths in your skill trees and stuff like that to be able to unlock it. And then I think it was random.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that was weird. Trevor just did like a weird. He's like almost howling in his channel because I think Renee just got.
Okay. Another game to kind of look forward to coming up in the next few weeks, a month or so, is the release date of the new Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous computer game. This is September 2nd of 21 here, and I am really very much looking forward to this game. Was a big fan of the previous Pathfinder game, Kingmaker, and I think this is going to be a great game. I'm actually really looking forward to it. Yeah, it's another game very similar, top-down isometric game, similar to like Baldur's Gate and some of these other games, Divinity and whatnot. And it looks fucking cool. Owlcat Games puts out a pretty solid product, so looking forward to it.
Cool.
All right.
The only other thing I've got is Loki.
Yeah, so we should probably get into Loki. Well, one other thing I was going to talk about real quick is Netflix did make the announcement earlier in the year about that they wanted to get into the making of video games as well, similar to how what Amazon is doing. So Netflix has confirmed that its initial foray into video games will focus on mobile experiences,
Yep.
which will be free to existing subscribers. In a letter to investors, the streaming giant explained that it's still in its early stage of expanding into games, but that it views the initiative similar to its past moves into original films, animation, and unscripted TV. We view gaming as another new content category for us, similar to our expansion into original films, animation, and unscripted TV. Games will be included in members' Netflix subscription at no additional cost, similar to films and series. So, I mean, hell, I mean, if Netflix can put out games that are as good as, like Orange is the New Black, or, some of the other like really amazing programming they've done, like Stranger Things and Shadow and Bone and some of these other amazing shows. Hey, I mean, I'm in. I'll check it out. I mean, I would prefer that it's not just mobile games, but who knows? We'll see. So yeah, it says it'll happen as early as next year, is what they're saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was all I was going to delve into. I think it is time for us to, explore the righteous wonder that is Loki.
Glorious purpose.
His glorious purpose.
Yeah, so we start off this episode pretty much right where we left off last time. So last time they got the Alioth charmed,
right,
enchanted, and it let them through to this big castle. Turns out this castle is on an asteroid in the middle of the end of time, with the time stream going around it.
Right.
And
there's a really cool opening where it's just kind of like with planets and
things, and you see the Marvel stuff going first, and then it goes, and you're hearing voices.
Right.
And it's snippets from like all of the Marvel movies up until this point in TV shows.
And it was political leaders. It was all kinds of people. Like, I mean, the first time I watched it, I had the closed captioning on because like Stella had some people over for her writing group, and my friend John and I were watching it. And so I'm like, I'm going to turn on the closed captioning. And so it actually told like who they were. So it was Greta Thunberg or whatever, that young girl and it was Nelson Mandela, and it's just a bunch of all like famous people that were thrown in there too.
Yeah, and then there was also a lot of the stuff from the movies and TV shows, because you hear Vision at one point do his "What is love?" or "What is grief?" but love's enduring.
Enduring, yeah.
So you see all that, and then it goes into like the timeline itself, and you're like shooting down the timeline, and then you wind up in like it almost looks like just like a painting of them standing in front of it, and then you see some of the background moving a little bit, but at first it just looks like everything's frozen.
Right.
Because they're just standing there looking at this castle.
Right. And it was pretty crazy. I mean, I gotta admit, man, those visuals at the beginning were just incredible.
So we get there, they walk up to the castle gates, or the castle door, and Sylvie walks up to the door, and then she stops and comes back, and she's like, "Aren't you going to tell me not to break it down?" He's like, "Do any good?"
Yeah.
And they're sitting there talking, and all of a sudden the doors just open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're like, "Oh shit, what do we do?" They're standing there with their swords drawn, and they're like, "Oh crap," yeah. And they just kind of go in.
And they keep flashing back and forth too between that and what's going on at the TVA.
Yes, yeah, and you get to see Judge Renslayer, like kind of like obviously packing to go.
Yep.
She's like, "I'm out of here, man. I got to get out of here."
She's downloading files to her tempad.
Right.
And then we go back to Loki and Sylvie, and they're walking in through this like big the scope of the castle was huge. Because I mean, they had huge roofs yeah. and large rooms, and they walk in, and I'm trying to think if it was did they find the statues first and then Miss Minutes comes in, or is it Miss Minutes and then they find the statue?
Miss Minutes comes in and then they find the statues.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
because
sure.
she shows up.
She shows up right as they open the doors.
As they walk in. Yeah, the first time they walk in, they're in like in an entry hall, and Miss Minutes shows up and scares the crap out of them. That is a creepy fucking cartoon now.
It really is. It's super cute. And then like the look on her face, the sound of her voice, and it got creepy, dude. It got really like, ooh, boy.
Like, you guys made it, blah, blah, blah. You know,
we're going to offer you a deal.
Yeah, he wants to offer you a deal. Who does? He who remains.
He who remains. And she had that Southern, that kind of sweet Southern accent. And, you know, you have been through a lot, haven't you? And you know, just like, yikes. Sure.
Basically, and they're like, well, what is it we want? And he basically tells Loki, you want to win. You want not only will you win the Battle of New York,
you can kill Thanos.
You could kill Thanos. You want the Infinity Gauntlet? It's yours.
Yeah.
You want the throne of Asgard? You've got it.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, it's fiction. It's all fiction.
Well, and then tells Sylvie, you know, you've been through a lot. You've been on the run for a long time. How'd you like to wake up tomorrow with nothing but good memories?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's some fucked up shit, man.
Yeah. And then they refuse her, and she gets kind of creepy, really creepy then.
Yeah.
And flips out. I forget what she said to him at the end. But she says something about, you know, basically a "you'll be sorry" thing.
Yeah. No, good luck with that.
Yeah.
And then disappears. Yeah.
And then she immediately reappears at Renslayer.
Right. And gives her a bunch of files, and she's like, these aren't what I was looking for.
He thinks these will be better. Like,
yeah.
Who? And Miss Minutes just disappears again.
Right, exactly. And it was like, man, this is, oh God. I was super creeped out by that. Just the look on her face, the way her eyes just kind of squinted a little bit.
And now you know she's not just a computer program. She's an AI.
Yeah. She's like, I had to take care of something, you know, and you're like, oh, damn. Yeah. It's going to be interesting if we ever see her again.
I have a feeling we're going to.
I do too. I do too.
Especially with the way it ended.
Yeah.
But so they keep walking through. They find a room with 4 statues. 3 of them are the timekeepers. The 4th one's smashed.
Right.
Which I had heard somewhere there was a 4th secret timekeeper. And that one would have probably represented whoever that was.
Okay.
But they wind up going through, and then all of a sudden they hear like this sound. They get they get all ready, and then you see like you hear and you see like dust come out from beneath a wall. Yeah. And things light up around the wall like a doorway, and then the wall just slides out of the way, and it's an elevator. And inside is this dude just sitting there in this purple robe and outfit and sandals. And he's got an apple in his hand.
And he's just like, wow, hey, 2 Lokis. How about it?
You made it.
You made it. Yeah. And it was funny because I was watching this with my friend John, and he was like, because we're like, he kept going, I hope it's going to be Kang. I hope it's going to be Kang. I hope it's going to be Kang. Because that's what they were building up to. That this was going to be some kind of, you know, in a addition, you know, introducing Kang the Conqueror to.
And it was.
And it kind of was. What it was Immortus.
Well, yes, it's one of the Kangs.
It's one of the Kangs. Now, for those of you guys who don't know or don't realize, Kang the Conqueror, because of in the comic books, because of the way Kang moved through time and manipulated time and stuff, he created multiple parallel universes. He created multiple parallel timelines, which creates parallel universes, and that created parallel or multiple versions of Kang throughout the the universe. And in fact, in the comic books, they even had something called the Council of Kang, and it was just tons and tons of Kangs from throughout the multiverse. And it was, and well, one Kang in particular, broke away from his conquering ways and his evil ways and decided to become a scholar, basically, a shepherd of the timeline and of time itself. And he called himself Immortus. And he set up shop in what was known as Limbo. And it's basically a dimension outside of time. And the Avengers and the Fantastic Four at various times, I think it was Limbo.
Limbo is where Mephisto was.
No, Magic. So where Magic was, her realm was, where it's.
Yeah, but I thought that's where Mephisto was from too.
No, Belasco.
Oh, okay.
The demonic guy with the horns that pretty much gave Magic her abilities. That was Belasco. But Mephisto's straight up from hell. Mephisto's just from hell. But although some people would say that Mephisto still has his hands in almost everything, And so yeah, there's a place that he basically that Immortus basically sets up shop, and Immortus was supposed to be fairly benign. He was supposed to be helpful in many ways and helpful to the Avengers and stuff. Now, a few years back, they established that Immortus had his own agenda. He certainly had his own agenda and was not to be trusted because you know what? Ultimately, he's still Kang, and it was like you got to watch yourself. You got to watch yourself around this guy, and that's who this version was, because they had shown that the guy that was being cast for Kang, who that actor was, and Kang is supposed to show up in Ant-Man 3, Quantumania. And it is that actor, and we're like, oh shit, it's the same guy, and he's the guy who was the lead in Lovecraft Country, actually, which is also a shame about that show. That show got canceled, and apparently it got 18 Emmy nominations, but it got canceled. A show that's black led and kind of all about. It's got a very black or African American centric kind of storyline,
and it tells a lot more. It doesn't put white people in a good light,
right,
for the time that it's from, which
got canceled.
Let's face it,
wow,
they really weren't.
Nope. So anyway, it is the actor that's supposed to play Kang. So yeah, that's definitely Immortus. And so yeah, it was one of the things that John and myself didn't like was we're like, if this is Kang, why? I mean, he's playing him really kind of weird. I mean, you figure Kang is going to be like, he's kind of a tough guy. He's Kang the Conqueror. He shouldn't be like, hey, you guys are great. I've been waiting for you guys forever.
And that's the thing. We're kind of getting ahead of it here, but
right,
because they get in the elevator with him, and he's like, not what you were expecting, right? And
yeah, exactly.
He's like, you're just a man. He's flesh and blood. And she's like, she's a little disappointed. She's like, and Sylvia was like, no, it just makes you easier to kill. And she lunges at him, and he just teleports basically over to the seat in the elevator.
Yeah, she tries again. He does it again.
He keeps bouncing around and
finally bounces out of the elevator, and then the elevator doors open, and there he is. So he's like, "Come on, let's have a seat."
He pours him tea.
Yeah. And you're like, ah, oh, damn. And he's like, okay, this is going to be, I think that's when they were like, okay, this is definitely going to be harder than we thought. And that's the thing. I don't think they thought it was going to be easy. They were prepared for Bear, basically.
Yeah.
And but I think it was ultimately.
They were prepared to fight, and they got this guy that just wants to talk to him.
Right, exactly. I mean, they're just, but they still were being wary. They're still being really wary. They're like, what is this? And like I said, it turned out that, he's a guy that's been doing this for a very, very long time. And he kind of obviously wants out.
Yep.
And yeah. So they continue to talk, and then I think this was about when we went back to the TVA, wasn't it?
Yeah. We go back to the TVA, and there's a knock on Renslayer's door. Like, I said, I wasn't to be disturbed, and you see,
And she totally sounded like that, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Yes.
and
Yeah.
and then the door kind of opens, and Mobius walks in. He's like, "You're really not going to want to see me then."
Wow. Yeah, you're really not going to want to see me. That's
Wow.
terrible. Wow. I was still really disappointed that we didn't hear a wow at least once. You know,
In this episode,
in any of them.
we did hear wow.
See, I heard somebody say that there was an instance of him saying wow, and I do not remember it.
Well, I also
do
saw
not remember it.
someone saying that, when he was driving the car, they did a thing where it was actually the one from what's called it, Cars.
Yeah.
The movie Cars. It was
okay.
McQueen,
Yeah.
Lightning McQueen, and Sylvie gets in. She's like, "Nice car." He's like, "Yeah, it's a variant."
That's funny. Yeah, I don't think we've heard it. I don't think we heard it once. So I don't know. But yeah, he shows up in her office and he's got a stun stick. He's got a pruning stick or whatever they call it. And he's
I wouldn't call those a stun stick, because one end kills you by pruning you, the other end just stabs you to death.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess if it's not turned on, you can bean somebody with it. But yeah. So yeah, it's a pruning stick, and he's got it, and he's like, "Okay, you're not going anywhere. We're gonna talk here." And she's like, "I'm sorry, Mobius," and he was
if
like,
anyone was gonna get out of the void, it'd be.
Yeah, and he was all like, and he's like, "You betrayed me," and she's like,
even before
"No,
that,
you betrayed me."
And even before that, she's like, I suppose you're gonna kill me. You're gonna prune me. He's like, I like that idea.
Yeah.
But I think my standards are higher than yours.
Right.
When it comes to long-standing friendship.
Right, because they've been friends for God, how long? I mean, when you really think about it, I mean, they don't really set that up. I think she says something like eons of friendship.
She says eons, but we were friends for eons. That was the whole betrayal thing. Yeah.
And then he's like, you betrayed me. She's like, you betrayed me. You're Loki, whispers in your ear, and you side with that fairy.
Loki.
Yeah. And it's, well, he sided with him because he was right. I mean, Jesus. And she's like, and he's like, why did you do this? She goes, I have to believe that it was for something, that it was there for something, for some reason. And that we did all of this for a reason. And I get that. Actually, it's got to be really difficult for your whole life for everything you believed in to be kind of upended. I guess I can kind of relate to that on some levels, but yeah, I mean, like, and she's like, she's got to be like, she needs to know, she needs to find out, needs to figure it out. That makes sense.
And she opens up a portal, and he's like, I can't let you go. And he turns the stick on.
Yeah. And then she's like, hey, you're not going to be able to help hurt me with that.
Yeah. Even with that, you're not a threat to me.
Yeah, you're not a threat to me. And he's like, and then she pretty much, disarms him and kicks him aside. He goes, well, yeah, you're right. Here we are again.
Yeah, I was wondering if he had something else going on there, like he had planted something on the stick or something like that, but no.
Yeah. Nope, not at all. Yeah. But she doesn't prune him. She just kind of turns it off.
And before that, though, he confronts her when he first gets there, and she calls for like B-19 or whatever. Come in, the one, or A-19, one guard, the one captain, basically, and he's like, yeah, you're gonna find that's not gonna work because we know about you now. And he holds up that pen.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he holds up the pen, and we knew when we saw that pen. A lot of people talked about that we knew when we saw that pen that there was gonna be there's something important about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then we see that
B-15.
right, B-15 takes she kind of lures some of the hunters to her, or to this place, and it's someplace in Ohio in 2018.
Yep. The
And
school.
it's the school, and they're standing in this office, and in walks Judge
And you see like
Renslayer.
the diploma on the wall, and it's Rebecca something.
Yeah, and he's like, Judge Renslayer, and he's like, that's not Judge Renslayer, and pretty
what? Like,
yeah,
we have a lot to talk about.
yeah, basically showing other people that that they're variants.
Yes.
Like, yeah. And it was that was pretty smart, honestly. That was a pretty smart way to go about it.
Yep.
So yeah, and then she's like, she figures out like, ah, shit, they know now. They all know now. They're all, if they don't know now, they're all going to know.
Mm-hmm.
And she pieces out, man. And like I said, that's when she disarms him, and then she gets the fuck out of Dodge, man.
Yep.
And so we don't know what happens to Judge Renslayer.
We will see her again.
But we will see her again, absolutely.
And I have a feeling she's going to show up in one of her other guises when she comes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's going to be the Terminatrix, or she's going to be...
That's the one that I've seen a lot of speculation on, is that she's going to come back as Terminatrix.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think that makes sense. She's going to show up as something like that later on.
So, but yeah, so then back at Kang Castle.
Kang Castle.
We've got them still sitting around with he who remained, and he gives them like a little history lesson, and talks about that what if one of his variants lived in the 31st century.
Mm-hmm.
And right then, you're like, yep, that's Kang.
That's Kang. Yeah.
He was a scientist, and he discovered that there were parallel universes.
Discovered time travel and
exactly. and all this, and so and goes through the whole thing, and that they were the ones that actually started the war.
Yeah,
exactly. The multiverse war, and that he's the one that ended it.
Yes, by
taming
weaponizing Elias.
Yeah.
Or Ali.
Alioth.
And he created a multiversal peace, because basically there was war broke out between the parallel dimensions and parallel timelines.
Yeah, and he goes through and he says, I've been called many things.
A conqueror.
A king. Conqueror. Jerk.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of speculation that he's talking about himself there, that's the Immortus.
Yes.
Is jerk. So, and I liked how he used his little temp pad thing and did a little swirl and got some material up and just kind of flicked it off, and then used it to make little shadow puppets, basically everything he was talking about.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool too. Yeah, he definitely, and it was actually similar in concept to kind of what Ego did. Using in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where he kind of used that material to create these dioramas of life and what things. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool too. And he kind of explained to them all about it. And he basically then he lays it out for them. He says, listen, this is what we've got. This is the my plan for you. This is the offer I'm going to make you guys. You can either kill me, and something way worse is going to come. Yes, he said, if you think I'm bad, wait until you meet
if you think I'm evil, wait till you see the other the variants.
Yeah. And so, or you can go back and you can run the TVA the way you want to run it. And the two of you, right? And they're like, and he's like, it seems I've been looking for you know, somebody to run, you know, to run
All of
this,
this.
all of
He actually was
this.
offering them running the timeline.
Yeah. Like you can run everything. It says like seems like I've been looking for one person, but it seems like I was looking for two of the same person, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, the person I was looking for came in too.
Came in two. Yeah. And it did, you know. So
But they were talking about, no, we broke away from you. He's like, no. That was the other thing was he's like, goes, the I laid the path, and he like does that thing with his hand down there.
yeah.
You walked it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty wild, man. It was pretty cool how he did that, you know, the whole thing. I was like, man, that was pretty cool. And um I just I dug it. I dug it. I thought it was pretty cool how he um how he kind of like you could tell that okay, there's um definitely some deep shit going on here. There's
Well,
definitely some deep explanations.
and then he also at one point tries driving a wedge because he makes a comment. He says something to Loki,
Yeah.
and and then Loki doesn't really respond. He's like, and he looks at Sylvie. He's like, "Do you think you can trust him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you actually think you can trust him?"
Yeah.
But then at one point, he's sitting there and he gets this look, and he's like looking around, and you hear a little bit of a noise, and he's like, "Just past the horizon."
Yeah, there are people that it was you hear like almost a thunder.
Yeah.
And there are people that I've seen people speculate that that was actually the moment that Wanda became the Scarlet Witch. That
Oh.
was her coming into her power as a nexus moment and stuff.
Oh, maybe.
Hmm.
But yeah, he's like, "You just passed the horizon." I fibbed earlier when I said I knew everything that
Yeah.
I knew everything to a certain point. Now, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you see him look like almost he's almost happy about it too. You can see that it's like an excitement to him because he like picks up a piece of something and holds it up and he's like and just drops it and he looks at it like he was surprised it did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um yeah, it was like you could tell he was um like he was excited to not know what was going to happen next.
Yeah, it was something new for him. I mean, when
Yeah.
you always know what's going to happen, that's got to get boring.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, they even talked about he's like, I'm older than I look, you know. I have been through everything, you know. He's like, it's a young man's game or something like that,
Yeah.
he said. And I was just like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense, you know. And like he's tired. And he
Yep.
was looking for somebody to take over. And then they're like, okay, now what do we do? You know, they're figuring it out like, well, now what do we do? You know?
That's when
And
Sylvie jumps up.
yeah, and he's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, Sylvie jumps up and goes to attack, and
Right.
Loki leaps up and grabs her arm, which then starts a fight between the two of them.
Yeah. And there's actually some really great hand-to-hand combat too. I gotta admit, like the stage, the fight choreography in this show is really quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And Sylvia accuses Loki of only wanting his throne, and they keep fighting, and they go back and forth, and they're both using magic, they're both using their weapons. At one point, Sylvie just knocks Loki to the side, and she goes to charge after him again, after He Who Remains again, and Loki just teleports in front of her as she brings her sword down, and it's right against his neck, and she stops. And they actually have it's that moment right there where they're talking, and Loki has a genuine moment of caring.
Oh, they definitely do. Yeah. I mean, he says,
And
I mean, they're fighting and they're fighting, and he says like, and she's like, you just want the throne. You just want the throne. And he's like,
well, and
no,
then that was before, because that wasn't right there. And here he says, I don't want the throne.
right.
All I
He's like,
want is for you to be okay.
yeah. And I was like, wow, okay, that's heavy, man. That was really, really good. And
You see her
yeah,
arm kind of drops the sword.
right. Yeah, and you know, and they go in for an embrace and a kiss. And it was really
Yeah,
funny,
she
like
kisses him. Yeah.
Stella was like, I told you. And I'm like, uh-huh. Because I watched it with John first, and then I watched it last night again with Stella, and I'm like, oh, wait for it. And yeah,
The thing is, I think that was still genuine.
oh yeah, I agree too. I think it was.
But then she's like, and then they go apart, and she's like, but I'm not you. And she opens a portal behind him
and shoves him
through. And then you realize that she had picked up the tempad that He Who Remains had left on the desk.
Now that what bothered me about that whole thing, what bothered me about it was the fact that she was able to pick that pad up around from behind her back and just use it, and knew how to do that. Fuck that, man. That's weak. It was weak.
There should have been. She should have had to have read an instruction manual, or that was an issue I had too. Is how do you know how to use it?
Right. Now I did know. You got to remember too. There was. She talked about at the beginning. She's like, Loki, I've been around since before. Like I was pruned before you existed.
Yeah. Yeah. She did say that earlier on.
She probably did have a lot of knowledge that he didn't have. Things that.
Well, she's been using their technology, the TVA's technology, for a long time.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe it's just intuitive. Maybe it responds to thought, you know, because I would imagine his tempad is probably more advanced than some of the ones from the TVA.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely different. I mean, it looks like molten lava, like going.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So who knows? But I still thought, like, okay, it can't be that intuitive, you know.
Yeah, but she pops him through the portal, and you see him wind up coming out the other side in the TVA headquarters, and he goes to charge back, and the portal goes and closes. And then we see Sylvie turn back towards He Who Remained, and she just like wills her sword up into her hand, like force power type. Throws the desk out of the way.
Yeah.
And
aren't you gonna beg? You know.
Yeah, and he's I forget what he said to her, but he tries to talk her out of it again about not knowing what's coming.
Yeah.
And she just stabs him
through, and like to barely pauses, you know. She just and she just runs him through. I was like, wow, all right.
She left her sword there too, I believe.
She did. Well, she just drops, and then she drops on the floor, and just kind of like, and it's one of those it was one of those moments where you're kind of like, wow, like an example of where you know, revenge is not everything, is not necessarily going to fix everything. And I felt like that was the case. Like she got a revenge, and she's going to realize that it's not going to fix what was missing in her life, and what, you know, the pain and everything. So I think that was pretty powerful right there, you know.
Yep. And then we see and as they do that, he says something about the splits or something, and you see out the window everything's splitting.
Yeah. So that's when we actually do see that the timeline has fractured. It is not
it was just a spider web out there now.
And that's exactly, I'm glad that you said that, because it is not, at that point, it is no longer one long thread or one long rope or whatever you want to call
Yep.
it. It is a web now. It is
Yep.
a web of possibility, and that's kind of what was established a while ago in Spider-Man and in like in the Spider-Man comics and stuff. The multiverse is a web,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so it was pretty. I thought that was really cool to see, to see that just like spread out everywhere. It's really badass.
And he said he wasn't worried. The other thing was he said that he wasn't worried about dying because reincarnation, baby.
Reincarnation, baby. Yeah, he goes, and I'll see you soon.
I'll just be right back here.
Yeah, and that was one of the last things he said to her. Is like, I'll see you soon, or I'll see you again, or something like that. And then we go, like I said, that's the last we see of Sylvie, and we go back to the TVA, and you see just Loki just sitting there broken.
Well, before that even, you see the timeline splitting then,
right,
in the TVA, and everything going past Redline, and Mobius and B-15 or whatever her name is are standing there looking at it, and they're like, well, there's no fixing this now, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we go to Loki sitting.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, he's just destroyed. He's just decimated. And you can see him sitting there. And then he gets up and he leaves, and he's running down the hallways. Nobody's stopping him. Nobody's even. I mean, they're all just.
There's hunters running by like they're getting ready to go somewhere, and
they're all just in a panic. They're getting ready. They're trying to figure out what's going on or whatever. And he's running through the library, and
we see Mobius and B-15 looking things up and talking about different fractors or fractions and things like that of or fractals, I guess, of how things are split, and then Loki runs up to him and starts telling him, "Hey, we were wrong, blah blah blah. It was this guy," and Mobius looks at him. He's like, "Hey, it's all right. You're an analyst. What division are you in?"
Right, and we see that where he doesn't know him anymore, and they're talking. I mean, these are 60 variants in this thing alone, and everything. Yeah. And but then Loki comes in and he's like trying to talk to them. He's coming. We have to prepare. And he's like, "Okay, calm down. What's your name? You're an analyst, right? What's your name?" And you're like,
"What division are you in?"
What? And like Loki just realizes like it's already changed, and he looks out the window and he sees the statue.
And there's no longer the timekeepers out there.
Right. It's just the statue, the one guy. You see the statue.
It is Kang too.
That's fucking Kang. That's Kang's outfit, man. Yeah. That's Kang. And I was just like, oh shit. Wow. Okay, here we go. Yep.
And then we had a mid-credit scene, sort of.
Yes, sort of. And it's like, stamp. Loki will return in Loki season 2. And you're like, okay. Now, we already knew Loki season 2 was a go, because I think they had already announced it. They already said, like, by the I think it might have even before the first episode aired, they were like, oh yeah, there's definitely going to be a season 2. So there was a part of me that was kind of like, man, that's too bad that they kind of dropped the ball on that. But
that's actually what I think it is, CD. I don't think it's that time have changed. It's that Sylvie sent him back to a different branch without realizing it. He's in a different universe. Things haven't changed. It's just that he's in a different universe. He's on a different timeline.
Well, it's entirely possible, but I mean, I still think it's just because, well, I don't know. I guess that could make sense too. But that's the other thing. Like, Loki's free to do whatever he wants at this point.
Yeah.
He could just find a timeline and just live there, or he could insert himself back into whatever timeline he wanted, because he's free and clear, dude. So I don't know.
One of the memes I saw was, it said the love story we got, and it shows Loki and Sylvie kissing. The love story we wanted, and it shows Mobius on a jet ski.
Yeah. No, that's accurate. That's accurate. I don't know, man. I just
She quick dialed. She didn't know it. She just quick dialed something and sent him someplace.
yeah. There you go.
She got one of the digits wrong.
I liked it. I liked the ending, but at the same time, I was kind of like, well, it just set up. I mean, we knew that what the show was going to do was going to set up some of the new stuff that we were going to see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that it was going to be a lot of, stuff for the new movies. It was going to be stuff for the, stuff for the new movies, stuff for maybe for the next season of the show. And that's exactly what we got. We didn't get any hard answers. Well, we did get some hard answers, but those hard answers just opened up more questions.
Right. And I mean, we know that this is going to tie into 3 of the upcoming movies, but there are like 8 movies still planned.
Right.
For this next phase. So how that's going to tie into those other ones, we don't know yet.
Right. Exactly.
So, oh, that's weird. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
My chat paused for a second. So sorry.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so we know that this ties into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
We know that it ties into Spider-Man
Far From Home. Or No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
And it's going to tie into Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania.
Correct.
Those 3 we know it's going to tie. Now, how it's going to tie into any of the others, I don't think it's going to tie into Eternals at all. I don't even think. I want to know how they're going to explain why the Eternals are suddenly showing up.
That's what I'm very interested in.
Yeah, Endgame wasn't enough to bring them out.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that should be interesting to see how that's going to play out.
Well, hey, so here's the other thing though: is when Thanos snapped, half the Eternals should have disappeared too.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they did. I'm sure they did. I mean, it was half of the populations of the entire universe was dusted. So it wasn't just sentient creatures. It was animals too. It was it was half of everything.
Yep.
So anyway, I mean, needless to say, we're going to see some. It's going to be interesting to see some. We're going to see some wild shit out there for coming up. It's going to be really interesting. I am really excited to see what comes next. Was I completely satisfied? No, but I did like the ending. Stella loved it. She thought it was very, just like it was a good, like ending to the story so far.
Mm-hmm.
As a writer, she appreciated it.
It did a lot to move the MCU along.
Yes. Absolutely.
This could have just been a goofy like romp, and they moved it along very well. I think the storytelling overall was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really enjoyed the show. I thought it was really good overall. I thought they did a good job of building things and building the characters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And for only six episodes, you got to see a lot of character growth in multiple characters.
Yeah. Agreed. So, I mean, I think it's gonna be great. I mean, when we finally see what comes next. So,
yep. Now we've got like 3.5 weeks, something like that, until What If?
Correct. We do, yeah, something like 3.5 weeks. But she chooses now to howl with him. But at the end of the week, we have Masters of the Universe.
Well, that's right. That starts at the end of this week.
Yes, it does. So I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna kill her.
Loki was definitely really good. I liked it better than Falcon and Winter Soldier, although I liked that one too. But I think Loki was a better series.
I liked them all. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier though was very predictable. That was a long MCU movie.
is what
Right. It was a much more of a superhero movie or superhero show. This kept you guessing. This was a serious development of the character and
a lot of chaos.
A lot of chaos. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. So yeah. But yeah, Masters of the Universe this week coming up. It'll be the first half of the first season.
I still haven't made it out to see Black Widow.
Me neither.
I really want to see that.
I really want to see it in the theater. We've been wanting to see it with some friends, and we haven't had a chance because Stella's been super busy. We were gonna go on Thursday, but now we got to take Dresden to the vet. Just check up and whatnot. So I'm like, oh, all right. But yeah, I told her, I'm like, we got to see it this week. We got to go to the movie. We got to see it this week. Now it did really well in its opening weekend, but then
one of the biggest drop-offs.
One of the biggest drop-offs of any MCU.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they're just saying, and a lot of them are saying it's because it's available on Disney Plus.
Yep.
One of the biggest reasons why people are just like, I'm gonna see it on Disney Plus, and
spend the $30 because that's what it would cost for them to take their family to the movies anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, it's actually would be cheaper, for the most part. So,
one of the things, CD, I think you're right that Wanda was a little disjointed, but I think it was supposed to be.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. Was you were seeing that she was disjointed, so
Correct.
That's why everything in the show was also disjointed because it was her trying to control everything.
Yep. I'd say that is the case. There were times when it was a little all over the place, but I still enjoyed it. I'll admit I'm an easy audience when it comes to this stuff, so fine. But it was I still have loved everything that the MCU has put out so far here, and I'm really excited for Black Widow. I
am too.
I just gotta get there.
We've got only 7 weeks now, I think it is, until Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that's also right around the corner. So I'm
second weekend in September, I think.
Exactly. It says Tom Hiddleston's Loki just set a Marvel record. While it's true that there's no beating Marvel when it comes to creating the fantasy world of superheroes, the studio is now giving itself stiff competition. As per some recently released statistics, the Tom Hiddleston star Loki, which has been touted as the best Marvel series so far, has beaten both WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier in terms of viewership when it comes to its epic finale. As per figures reported by Samba TV via Deadline for Loki's finale for All Time Always, the episode managed to make a new record in terms of the largest audience viewership ever for a Marvel show finale. The show, which brought back Tom Hiddleston as the God of Mischief, blah, blah, blah. With a massive 1.9 million views within a span of 5 days since the finale first debuted on July 14th. 1.9 million views.
Yep.
In 5 days. Damn. That's a lot, man. That's incredible.
Yep.
Loki has created a similar record with its pilot episode that garnered 2.5 million views. Incredible. Unbelievable. So,
yep.
Well, Chris, we should probably wrap things up.
Yes, we should.
Guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Hey, got coming up this weekend for the local people. If you're interested, it should be a great time. The Canterbury Medieval Stroll is this weekend at the Canterbury Village shopping center. It's like it's kind of a themed outdoor mall. It's really cute, really, really great. I did the Halloween stroll, I did the Christmas stroll, and now we're doing a medieval stroll. It's this Saturday and Sunday. I will be there as Oliver Oga, so be sure to come by and say hello. And it's going to be a great time. We're going to be Rick Rock and the Rogue Blades are going to be there. Wakefire, some of the other a few other bands from the Renaissance Festival. You're going to see maybe a few other performers you may recognize from Ren Fair. People that are maybe not doing Ren Fair anymore, but are still wanted to do this kind of performance. So my friend Hal Lou is going to be there walking around. There's going to be a vendor area, so you can look at a mini Ren Fair basically. Yeah. And it's going to be a great time. There's going to be a pub sing. There's 3 or 4 stages with different acts and different performances on it. And Great time. I couldn't tell you exactly how much it's going to cost.
If you get your tickets ahead of time, it's $10.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah.
great. That's
I
not
saw
bad.
that because I was
Not
looking.
really bad at all. So you should come on out, check it out, have a great time.
And
Say hi.
I think on site it's like 12 or something.
Yeah,
Definitely way less expensive than Murph.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely just, I think it's going to be, this is my first time doing this event. I think they've only done it once before. And it really looks like a great time. So it's going to be a great time.
Yep.
So come on out, come see me, say hi if you're a fan of the show. And if you're not a fan of the show, come and say hi. I don't care. It's going to be a great time. So, but yeah, that's coming up this Saturday and Sunday at the Canterbury World Village or something like that. That's what they call it. It's just south of maybe like 2 or 3 exits south of the Great Lakes Crossing Mall off of I-75. You can Google it.
I didn't think
Google
it was
it.
that far because Jocelyn's the one who took to get out there.
Yeah, it's Jocelyn. So it's like 2
that is
exits.
That is
well,
the exit.
You're right. It is one of the exits. You can get off at Jocelyn or you can get off at Baldwin or something.
Right.
I think it's the next one or something like that. So yeah.
Right by you get off where Topgolf is and you head north.
Exactly. So come and see us, say hi.
Or east, actually, I guess that is.
Yeah, something like that. But otherwise, just want to.
Renee and I got married.
Oh, so adorable. Guys, thanks for coming out tonight. Thanks for spending your time with us. Tell all your friends about us, guys. We are at that 44 mark on followers. We'd love to get to 50, get that next tier up, and so we can kind of get more exposure. Really, we'd love to hear from you guys.
Get some more perks too.
Yeah, we get a few more perks. Chime in on the Facebook page. Let us know how you feel. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear about what was your feelings about Loki. What did you think was good or bad about the show, and what do you want to see next? To ask us what you want us to talk about, man, that'd be great too. If you got some suggestion, if you want a show or a movie for us to check out, anything. We're always looking for things to talk about and whatnot. So otherwise, you can find us at iTunes, or you can find us on the Google Play Store, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, radio.com. And of course, you can download and stream all of our episodes of this show, Nerds with Alcohol, at nerdswithalcoholshow.com. We're here every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock on our Twitch channel, Drinking Nerds. And we usually put the episodes up a couple of days later on YouTube.
One of the things I wanted to bring up, and I actually meant to bring it up beforehand so you can fix your list. Radio.com actually doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have rebranded to the Odyssey app. AUDACY.
The Odyssey app?
Yeah, the Odyssey app.
Okay, Odyssey app.
Oh yeah, so CD said The Expanse. That's what he wants us to watch and talk about.
Yeah, that's coming, man. That's coming.
Yeah, it's definitely coming. That's definitely high on my list of things to watch.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much to watch, man. There's just so much to watch.
Anyway, so yeah, you can find us on most of the social medias, though. We are on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show. We are on Twitter at Drinking Nerds, Instagram Drinking Nerds. And you can find us on Untapped, the beer drinking app. Just search for Drinking Nerds and send us a friend request, and we will get you added. Yes. That said, please feel free to follow us on Twitter or Instagram. You can follow me specifically on Twitter too at Detroit Beer Guy if you want. I don't post a lot, and most I post is beer. So, yeah, I think that's it, though. So
I think that'll do it.
Yep. I think on that note. Until next time. Slancha. That was okay, I guess.
It was all right.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.